Hi there, Chris Fox here, back to this D-22 valve here for Waterloo Central. And the main portion, service portion, is pretty much finished. It's back together, and I just have to do some tightening. Everything's clean in here, as you saw in the last video. Ran into, when we were doing the graduated release in the second section here, it sits in here, and what it is the graduated and release. So you can see direct and graduated. So you got a direct release and a graduated release. How these work is when they're sitting here and you can read it like that, it's in graduating. If you turn it into a boxcar, it's in direct. All right, that's great. And these are the gaskets. There's one. This gasket was the one that was in it. A little bit mungy. So I was able to get another gasket, a new gasket. So we'll put that one in it. And it goes in here. But in the meantime, we'll rebuild this one second. We're rebuilding this one right now. This is the quick service portion. So let me take it apart and I'll show you what it looks like inside. All right, so quick service portion. Remove a gasket, and you have a couple of pistons in here. And the pistons have gaskets on them. And the one, we'll put that out of the way. And then this one here is an interesting one, how it comes apart. Let's take this one apart right now. And I have loosened these up. Okay. Okay, it's a check valve, and you can see how it's mungy in there. I'll focus on that. Yeah, it's mungy in there. It's got all kinds of junk all over it. So we'll clean that one up. And the other one, if I can get this one done. It's got another big spring in it. And it's got a slide piston in there, but that piston there, which is right here, it won't come out. It's held in by this side. Give me a second, I'll take this apart and I'll show you. Okay, so this cross ball in here, you have to remove to pull this piston out. So there's a very, very, very hefty spring in here, so you should be very careful about that when you take it apart. Okay, so we pop that off, and you pull the spring out, and it's a very hefty spring, right, for the quick service portion. And then there's a check in here, and that check ball and sleeve has to come out. And then once that comes out, then this piston can slide out, and you can see down in there, you can see where the sleeve goes into a ball, and what it does is it pushes this slide and keeps pressure on it, on this, because this whole slide is lapped to this slide in here, and it needs to be a fairly good seal. So that's what this pushes against that, which then pushes against this, and then as it moves, as the piston moves, you can see the air holes and the ports in there that it uncovers, and the air goes to this side. So remember, this is a quick service portion, so when you reduce the air pressure in the brake pipe, this quickly allows air to the brake cylinder, so your brakes react much quicker. Okay, makes it looks like we have a mess here, but it's actually pretty good shape. Well, what we'll do is we'll blast all this with what I do is brake cleaner fluid, and then I wipe it with mineral spirits. And the mineral spirits has a bit of lubrication to it, and then we'll use a bit of Vaseline and a little bit of oil, and we'll put it back together to a certain degree, and we'll carry on. Okay, so we've gotten everything cleaned up here, gone through and cleaned up everything, all the springs, all the valves, all the check valves. Okay, I showed you that before, it was gummy. Now we're back to nice and clean. Everything inside, all the slides and everything are clean. So we'll start reassembly now. All right, very good. Here we go. Okay, so this is all lubed up in here. I have the cap back on and the piston back in the valve. Okay. And we'll just tighten this down. Gasket's good in there. And we'll put the relay gasket back on in here, or the piston back in here, along with the spring is already in here, and should be good. I'll show you when it's back together. All right, so we got the piston back together, and it's working a lot better than it did before. And we'll put this piston in here. It's great to do this single-handed like that. And then we can put the gaskets on. All right, so gaskets, that's a gasket there, and these are fairly new gasket. This one was, according to the date that's on it, it says July of 2014, so it's pretty good. So you can just install that like that. Make sure it's all nice in there. And then this gasket here as well goes on. You have to just look at it, make sure it goes the right way. And it overlaps into here and sits nicely down inside there. Now this quick service portion, other than tightening up all snugging everything up all over, this is done. So we can put that aside and we'll work on the midsection.